coming to our session. We really appreciate it. My name's Raine. I'm the CEO of Hello Sunday Morning, and we have Brenda, the head of design at our organisation. By show of hands, who here has heard about Hello Sunday Morning before? A little bit? Okay. So my job is to speak very briefly. Brenda says I've got 5 minutes to talk about our organisation, and then we're going to run through a workshop which she's put together, which I'm really excited to participate in. So Hello Sunday Morning is a not-for-profit, Australian not-for-profit, started 8 years ago with a focus on building software, so apps and websites that can support people to change their relationship with alcohol. So it started with a blog that to help people take a break from drinking 8 years ago, and then we found that there was a large population of people that started writing in who had more clinical support needs. They were really high on the audit scale, and so over the last 4 or 5 years we've built a team that's consistent of psychologists and alcohol and other drug workers, technologists, so people in development and design, and we really focused on one mission, which is to make sure that anyone that has an issue with alcohol in Australia, but now around the world, can have access to clinically proven support to address this particular problem. We've found that our main membership, the average age is 39, mostly female. When we reach a rural and regional population, 25% of our membership don't have access as much as what someone in a metro area might have. So we really fit a niche that we think can support this sector well. We actually haven't done, by the fact that not everyone in this room knows about us, we haven't done a good job of engaging with the drug and alcohol sector, and that's something that I'm really passionate about and want to improve over the next few years, that we're actually really interested in it. So I'll hand over to Brenda now for our workshop, and if you have any questions about our organisation, how it's structured, what we do there, I'm happy to answer them. So thank you.
Just with the questions, if you've got a question, just put your hand up and I've got a mic, I'll bring it over to you.
Thanks. Brenda.
Thanks. Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for coming to this workshop. I think I'll take the stage just because I'm so small, and it's great to feel that I have a little bit higher than here. So thanks for the intro, Chris. And so what he says is totally true. There is a big need, not only in Australia, but many places in the world, for helping people to change their relationship with alcohol. We know that 4 in 5 Australians believe that our nation's relationship with alcohol need to change. And how it is going to change, well, there are many ways to do it, but we really need to help a lot of people, because there's only 1 from 4 Australians who actually get professional support if they are in an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. So that's where we are standing, Hello Sunday Morning. And as Chris says, we engage with relationships with alcohol through technology. So currently our main product is called Daybreak, and it is a platform for support. And what we do is try to get people who are already in a situation that they know they need to change. They are already looking for support to change their relationship with alcohol, so they can come to this platform, and then they get the right support. They get no judgment, and they get professional help. As Chris said, we have a bunch of people helping to create this product, and many of them are actually psychologists, are professional health people that know how to approach problems with addiction. So this is Daybreak. As we guess that most of us probably don't know Daybreak yet, and it is a mobile app. Currently, we are actually going to release a web-based version of it as well, but currently it's a mobile app. So we don't expect you to already have this, so we are going to work in a bit different kind of setting here today. But our main idea with this is that you, as people actually, who we guess that most of you are actually working to help people change their relationship with alcohol or drugs, or are probably just interested in how to improve these relationships in Australia. So we just want you to know that there are tools out there like Daybreak, and we would like to learn also together with you on how to use these tools in a better way, how to actually let more people know that they exist, that they are there, they are available, accessible, and how could we improve them as well. So this is Daybreak, and this is the main background, the ground of Daybreak. So how it works is mainly through a supportive community. So we know that what helps most people the best is to feel that they are not alone, especially when they realize that they have been in some addiction problem, that their health is behind that problem, that there actually needs to be something that changes, but there's a stigma around it, so they might not feel like very confident on like talking to the world about their problem. It's funny because with many other health situations, people don't care about telling all their family and friends and people around it about the problem, but with alcohol and other drugs, there is a big stigma about it. So what we do is that we do have a very strong anonymity in the platform, so that people are free, people feel comfortable about sharing their situation and their journey, and they feel that someone is there to give support. But how we give support, definitely the community is very important, because it's people who are actually sharing their own experiences in very different levels. All people who are in Daybreak is built for people, I said, like who are ready to change. So there are from different levels, people who just realize that they are ready to change and they want the support, until people who have already tried many times and they actually have succeeded, and they are just in what we call maintenance mode. So they are just trying to keep going with their same behavior, their improved behavior. But besides this, we actually support people through a little more evidence-based and professional help, which is these two kind of pillars that stand aside. So one is one-on-one expert health coaching, which is like a health coach that is always there, well, Australian time working times, but it's like 5 days a week. Most of the time it's even 7 days a week, because our coaches are really so passionate about it that they reply even during the weekends and so on. So they are there to support people one-on-one. It's anonymous as well, but it is the professional difference from what you actually get from the community. You can actually get something a little more personalized. And then we have behavior change experiments, which are simply behavior change strategies, evidence-based behavior change strategies, and we have a collection of over 104 strategies already there, which there are a lot of them, but that doesn't mean that people need to like go and do all these strategies. We are actually implementing some machine learning mechanisms to see like how we actually channel those strategies to the person that actually needs different kinds of. So we are going to work today with these three little pillars, making a couple of little experiments so that you understand how this works, and you can probably bring it to whatever your work daily life is. So who in this workshop today is actually working face to face with helping people change their relationship with alcohol? Cool, kind of. And who are actually personally involved with someone, or who are more interested in a personal level about helping people change their relationship with alcohol? Yeah, which might be myself, some friends, some person in the family, friends, whatever. Well, maybe you didn't realize so much because I was here, you're there, but people who raised their hand before, they kind of do it with a little bit more pride, and people who are here for some personal level, this really talks about the stigma, are a bit like, well, maybe. So this is something that Hello Sunday Morning, more in the brand aspect. That is what Chris is actually working on mostly, is like this change in stigma, because we cannot really help that much if people are not openly like raising their hands and saying, I need help. So in the beginning, Daybreak is this anonymity group, and this is like, we don't ask people to really shout out loud their experiences, because we know that this is a hard thing. But we are hoping to actually little by little change it and help people to stand up and say like, I need help and where do I get it? Because that's how we can reach them. And that's one of the things I hope you guys kind of help us do, and we can do it together. Anyways, the daybreak thing, we have this daybreak method, which is basically what I said before with these 3 pillars, but it works mostly by improving mood. So we have a lot of positive psychology in the program, and we have this little nice mechanism of sharing your experience in daybreak, which works with a metaphor on weather. So this has been done, this was designed like from the beginning of the program with a lot of research. And it seems that when people actually share, first of all, how they feel about their journey and about how they are doing, it's actually making everything a lot easier. So they actually get more support from the community a lot faster. They don't need to be very specific on describing their what they are going through, their experiences, but still they get a lot of support. So this makes it a lot easier, and especially because it's a mobile platform, so you can just quickly share how you're feeling. But the best thing about it is that it helps us understand how people are doing. And this little graph is very broad here, but we have the real graph saying that when people start to use daybreak, they actually improve the mood, and they improve it really radically, as you can see in the graph. And this is mostly because we can actually track the mood based on what they share. Everything they share is based through a mood, and the people that are supporting themselves, they actually are engaging people and like get into like everything is possible. We understand that you are going through a hard time, but this is going to change, and so on. So this is very important, and I think we are going to also come back to this. Anyway, so this is a little quote from Daybreak. I saw this Daybreak community is the only place I can find the honest, truth, and sane reactions about alcohol. And I just wanted to put it as the beginning of the workshop because it's once more this like stigma thing, but it is also like let us know that the more we share about the actual problem and in a way that we know we are actually not exaggerating things, we are being realistic, but we are also knowing the facts. So this is very important as a support group also to know what are the real problems, what is happening around, and what can actually help. And in Hello Sunday Morning, our 3 main values are being supportive, useful, and inspiring. So this is something that actually takes us to design Daybreak and any other program that we work with. And in Daybreak in special, we actually kind of translate them into 3 main support pillars, which we are going to work with now. So I would like you to just like starting the little activity workshop. I would like you to just go in pairs, work in pairs, so just work with the person next to you. Everything is going to be just this pair group, and then we can discuss a little bit further more like as a group. So what I want you to do first is, do you have any paper and pen to write? I hope we have. We are just going to need that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so everyone has a pair person who you are going to work with. And do you know each other's name already? It's nice. Cool.
I love you to meet you, Sharon.
So now that we know each other's names, awesome. Name is enough, you don't have to tell each other's all the life stories. I can use this one probably. Does this work? So, can they hear this?
Can, maybe try that. Let's do that.
That's it, yeah. Smaller people might. Cool, okay, ready? Okay, thanks. Lovely silence. Okay, that's it. So let's sorry that I don't give you so much time for chatting. It's boring, but we have so short time for this. So later you can chat about it. But anyway, this is actually about chatting now, this exercise. So I will give you 2 minutes per person. You have to decide between like you first, like who is going first. We are going to swap next. And the only thing I want you to share with, be very strict on what you are going to tell because you only have 2 minutes. Please share one experience and how did you feel, focus on the feeling when you were going to change a behavior. And whether it is change my alcohol behavior, the way I drink, or you actually try to change a habit like diet, like drinking, eating habit, or even like exercise or waking up early or any kind of habit. So just think about it for a second, and you have 2 minutes to share it with the person next to you. How did you feel when you were about to make that change? Let's go. Thank you very much. How did it go? I saw that everyone was talking a lot, so maybe everyone has been going already through some change, which is good. Now we are going to swap. So do exactly the same, but the other person talks. Okay, ready? Go.
Sure, thanks. Hello.
Thank you. We have better voice for that. So, okay, thank you, everyone. That also seemed to have gone well. So, anyways, yeah, the sharing part is really crucial. So, I hope that a takeaway from here for everyone will be to embrace this part of sharing whenever you are working with someone, or even if it's not working, but like you are in that situation with someone you love that you want to help change any kind of behavior. So just be aware that sharing is actually mutual, and that's kind of the thing that I wanted you to appreciate here. When we go to counseling, or we work with the counseling part of the Daybreak program, it seems very like one part, right? Like one direction. And yeah, that might help in some cases, but it's not the full story. Like sharing is very, very important, being like both sides. So whenever you are working with someone or trying to help someone else, remember that you also need to be sharing. Whether it is sharing your own experience about the same or similar thing, or sharing simply your thoughts, but in a very open and non-judgmental way. But you need to also be part of that. Communication is like both sides in this. So the next bit that we work with is listening. This is something that we appreciate more when we have the coaching, the part of the coaching in our method. Because the coaches, their work is really important to be there just listening mostly. The community, they are also listening, everyone behind the community, but it's more about the sharing. It's more about you have experienced this, I have also experienced that, and communicating together. But the listening part is a little bit different. It can be part of the sharing, but it can also be a bit separated. But it is very, very important. So what I want you to do now, this is individual now, so I hope you have something to write with. If you don't have paper with you, there are some post-it notes in the middle of each table. And just write 3 points on how did you feel when you were sharing this about the listening part. When you were sharing your story, did you feel that the person next to you was actually listening? Think of the expressions you got. Think of what helped you communicate that story that you were sharing. Was it that you felt like their eyes were opening? Was it that the person was actually like paying attention to you? Or did you feel actually the opposite? Did you feel that the person was actually listening to someone else, maybe hear me speaking or whatever? Or just share how did you feel about that? If that person listened to you or not, and if that changed anything on the story you were sharing. And this is just for yourself, so just write it down and how you felt. And you have just 1 minute for this, so take your time. So this is going to be very fast. Ready? Okay. So the last bit of, and just keep the thought for yourself if actually you didn't have enough time for that. But yeah, just like some quick draft or something. And the last one is definitely the support. In general, it's very important, but the evidence-based support that we use is actually these behavior change therapies. And you will find in the middle, in the center of the table, there are these A4 sheets paper. So take one per pair, or if you have enough, take one per person. And we don't have time to go through the whole experiment, but we call them experiments because how we feel about this is that everybody's different, and everybody's journey through change is different. So what might work perfectly well for me might not work at all for the person next to me. So that's why we have so many of these experiments out there. And we would love if we could actually share them with you, all our collection at some point, if you want to work with them, because I think they are very valuable tools. And this is just an example. So just read through it as much as you can. And then after this, today or at home, you can actually fill it in and you can work on it, like especially.
It's on your website?
It's on the app, but I'll go through it. I'll just give you 10 seconds because we don't have much time for this. If you want to just quickly browse through what is there. Yeah. So I think we need to like wrap up. Anyways, yeah, that was like the largest part of the workshop now. But so what we wanted to do now is stop it. So yeah, time is over, saying. So just like those post-its that you have also, if you could probably each of you just write down, if you would have access to something like this, and if you would have access, or the person that you are helping to change would have access to Daybreak, how would that help you? And what specific kind of access would you need? What could we do to make your work better when you are actually helping someone change their relationship with alcohol? If you could write that down, we are going to take those little pieces of paper. If you want to write down also your email or any contact, we can also contact you back and just to work together on this. And yeah, just to finish, so the Daybreak program is available on mobile currently, and it is definitely, we want to limit it for people who are actually needing the help. But if you are just helping someone to make the change, go there, download it. Just please remember that it's not really for you in that case, so don't participate actively. You can be there to learn how we do it, to learn from it and try to feel the method on your own like journeys, on your daily work. And that's it. So hopefully this is useful.